like, you know how everyone is so worried about procrastinating when it comes to their chores or the work that they have to do, but no one ever worries about procrastinating self-care. And I think what we're doing, and I think this is highly problematic for all of us, is that we are procrastinating self-care.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Friday coffee chats. We are so happy to be here in season 3 of this podcast, and now you can finally also see us.
Can you believe it's been 3 seasons?
It's super exciting, I think.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It is crazy. We started like not even a year ago with the Friday coffee chats, and it's been like the best, nicest routine ever, actually.
I'm super excited about us also being now on YouTube as well. And yeah, also I feel like, when you have visual contact with somebody, like, I don't know, I feel like you kind of feel closer to them somehow. Like you also can see, like their facial expressions and, like the way they talk.
Difference, isn't it? I feel like the voice already says a lot, right? The tone, the way of speaking, the words that we use. But when you see people, when you see the gestures and the, how do you say, mimic?
Mimic, yeah.
The mimic and everything, it's just nice. It's nice to invite you at our, I don't know, to like properly, visually, audio wise, to our Friday coffee chats. And we're so excited for this season. We have so much planned. Some new things coming up as well.
Yeah, they're exciting. They're quite exciting. It took us a while to prep all of this. And maybe you've also noticed that the pod is now called Friday Coffee Chats. We just thought that that would be a more symbolic.
It's just what it is, right? This is what it is. These are the Friday Coffee Chats. Exactly. And it just made sense to name it.
So join us in our Friday coffee chat today. I'm having tea.
And I'm having a hot chocolate. A special hot chocolate.
Oh my God, your hot chocolate? Like, you should have seen her before we started recording. No, she was like, I'm gonna make that hot chocolate.
Okay, we're being so cryptic. So basically, lately I've been looking into all of the benefits, like health related and gut health related benefits of bone broth. And so I tried different ones now, and today was the day. I only have pure bone broth left, and I'm like, I don't think I can just drink it like this. And I saw everywhere on TikTok, Instagram, everywhere, everyone was raving about bone broth hot chocolate. And I was like, okay, today's the day. And I was so scared. I was so scared to try it. But actually, you guys, it works. It's fine. You can't really taste it as long as it's pure bone broth. Even Tina said it's fine.
It's fine, but I ate it cold.
No, but you tried the hot chocolate too.
The hot chocolate was nice. The hot chocolate, you can't feel the broth. Like, no. Really, it just feels like water. Because it's the one without the spices, right?
Yeah. It's a bit more watery hot chocolate. Anyway, okay, we digress.
We'll have some of that in one of the future episodes.
I mean, listen, it's supposed to be good for you. I mean, maybe not this specific one, because I'll be glowing. I mean, I use the cocoa powder with the sugar in it. So, next step will be to just use raw cocoa powder, maybe like some maple syrup. But
sounds good. That sounds good. All right, you guys. We are actually super excited for this episode as well, because it's a new season. And you know how we just love new beginnings. And I feel like with spring, you kind of get another new beginning. And maybe if you didn't manage to make the New Year's your new beginning, you can also do it now. So it's kind of yet another opportunity to reassess your life and just think about what's going on and kind of get excited as well about the weather getting better and being able to be outside a bit more, and just, I don't know, to me, spring is just freshness.
And you know what, how I kind of visualize it in my mind? It's like, it's spring, it's new, as you said, new beginnings. It's like the flowers are blooming, and it's almost like your life can start blooming as well. And it's just, as I said, fresh and new and excitement. And this is what spring is all about.
Exactly. So we're basically going to have a chat today about how you can spring clean your life and whether you're somebody who, you know, wants to get into this whole spring cleaning, but kind of make it psychology, if that makes sense. Where, you know, you don't only spring clean your space. I have to do that, by the way. Like, I have so many clothes that I need to donate. It's a bit crazy.
But it also helps you. Yeah. Like, it helps you like mentally as well, I feel.
So it's kind of like decluttering, but I feel like it's decluttering in a deeper, more meaningful sense, you know, like you declutter your brain, basically.
And we'll get into that.
Exactly. So I guess let's just jump into it. Like, we basically prepped it in prep this episode in terms of like what questions you can ask yourself, and we'll guide you through what questions we asked ourselves when it came to our spring cleaning. And the first one is, what areas of your life would you like to spring clean?
And this is really more about the reflection, right? Reflecting about your priorities in the past 2 months and what went well, what you would like maybe to change, where you see a need to pivot and kind of make things align more with your goals and your needs. So it's really a moment to just sit down and think about that. Take some time to really reflect on how did the past 2 months go, and how would you like the next 3 months to look like as well.
I have to say, for me, I don't know why, but like January and February were about this one thing. It's almost like there was a theme of life, you know, involved in January and February. Yeah, like basically I started this year thinking a lot, and all the situations that I've been in have actually gotten me to the same point. And I was like, is this a sign? Like, what was this? You know? But it was basically about my relationship with myself.
Right.
Because I feel like all these life situations, they basically showed me that I need to listen to myself a bit more. Mm-hmm. And I need to also understand my relationship with myself better, because sometimes I do get in my head, you know, and then I cannot like take a piece of myself out of it that would basically observe the narrative that is happening in my mind, but I'm completely in that narrative. And usually that narrative doesn't really take me in a very, let's say, functional direction. You know, I can start overthinking, for instance, or I can start worrying about things that I shouldn't even worry about, you know, so like these kind of things. And what I realized is a lot of the times I'm waiting for other people to give me something that I'm not even giving myself. Oh, you know?
Okay.
And that's something that I learned in these 2 months. And it's like crazy. Like, it's only been 2 months and I'm like, wow, the insights. Okay.
But this is what it is about, right? Yeah. Like, actually reflecting on it and really seeing those signs. Call them whatever you want, but exactly. This is really where it's like, okay, I'm noticing this pattern and I'm noticing these signs and I feel like something needs to change, and then taking the action, changing it. Like, that's growth, that's self-development, that's exactly. What it's all about.
Powerful, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know, like, I just kind of had this moment of realization that this is what I need to focus on. And somehow, either this is a gut feeling or that's just the accumulation of everything, like, you know, that we know from psychology and that we know from like all of these self-help books and all of that, is that basically if you fix your relationship with yourself, or like if you find a way to live harmoniously with yourself, because that's the most important relationship you're going to have anyway in your life, then everything else will fall into place as well. So I don't know why, but I'm kind of sensing that this is what I have to do this spring. Like, this is the area of my life that I want to focus on.
I love that. I love that. You know what? I feel like a lot of the times we really focus on the relationships that we have with others, and it's so important. Like, it affects us so much, just, you know, the relationships that we have with people at work, with our family, with our friends, with like literally anyone we get into contact with, right? But we tend to forget the relationship that we have with ourselves and how important it is, and what kind of like, it's such a foundation for everything else, for all our relationships, for how we feel, anything.
Exactly.
I love that. For me, it's a lot easier. I feel like this year, honestly, for me, it's just like
Take the pressure off, basically.
for me, honestly, the area of like spring cleaning or life area of spring cleaning for me is just, I don't know, just kind of live a bit more in the moment.
Oh, so
And
like
it's in the
carpe
small
diem.
things. It's really in the small things that I want to focus on, right? The small moments of joy in the everyday and not just waiting for something big to happen or for the next big holiday or something.
But I feel like that's very valuable because, you know, we're always like on this, you know, this whole idea of the dopamine treadmill where, you know, you're always looking for the next thing. And I noticed that, especially that I have that with shopping. That, you know, like,
a biggie, hey.
like I buy something and like, sure, it satisfies me, but then I want to buy something else. And then it just never stops, you know? And then I just realized, like, yeah, that's not a very nice behavior. I also don't feel good about it anyway, you know? So I feel like this is the same in the sense of you can, you know, dream about your next trip. You can dream about the next big thing, the next concert you're going to attend. But it is really joy that you find in the small things that kind of keep you going on the daily, if that makes sense. You know, these glimmers that you have.
Yeah. Otherwise, yeah. Like it matters what happens on the everyday. That's what we experience the most, right? If you have something big like twice a year, yeah, no, because it's always the big things that we celebrate as well.
And even, you know, when like talking to people, like when you ask people, oh, how are you, people are going to start telling you about the big things that happened. They're never going to tell you about the small things that they enjoy doing on the daily. Or
but it's as simple as if you think about when do people take photos, right? Okay, now with like smartphones, blah 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 blah, you know, we have great cameras with us all the time. But if you think about it, like traditionally people took pictures, or even today, even with your phone, you kind of remember to take pictures when you go to a concert, for example, or when something big happens. And oftentimes we don't really have photos or videos or any footage of like our everyday. But this is where the magic lies, actually, in the everyday, chilling on the couch or cooking in your kitchen or getting ready in the bathroom or something.
Yeah, these processes, like these small processes that just bring you joy. Oh, that's very valuable. I think that's very valuable. Actually, that ties very well with the second question that you would like to ask yourself if you want to declutter or spring clean your life. And that is, what would you like your everyday life to look like in the next 3 months?
And it really is about those daily activities, right? It really comes down to almost like a bucket list. Like, what is your bucket list for spring? And the important thing here is to actually write it down, and whenever you can also plan it. Because I have to say, there have been so many years where I was like, oh, you know what, spring is coming. I would love to do this, this, and this, you know, because certain things you can't do as easily in a different season, right? And spring is the same way. There are certain things that are very typical spring. And every year I would be like, oh yeah, I want to do this, I want to do this. And I would tell myself, and maybe I had some sort of vague version of a mental bucket list of the things that I would want to do. But daily life catches up with you. And it happened so many times where then, you know, spring was over, it was summer, maybe even fall. And then I was like, oh, I wanted to do that, but why didn't I do that? And then it was like I forgot in the middle of the daily chaos that, you know, surrounds us, and things catch up with you, and maybe you're busy and then you're tired and then you forget about it. And literally just having this bucket list, writing it down, planning it in, really allows you to just enjoy spring the way you want it.
I feel like the planning it in is really key here. I think we've also talked in previous episodes that sometimes when you don't have enough time, the first thing you tend to sacrifice is your me time. But that time actually is one of the most important ones that allow you to replenish your energy and to replenish your resources. So basically, planning those self-care moments in, or like planning those bucket list moments, right? Those are the ones that can create this these moments of joy, the enjoyment of the process of the weather changing, the seasons changing, and just being in the now, I feel like.
And these are the moments you will actually remember. These are the moments that really count. And oftentimes these are moments where we can bond with ourselves, we can connect to nature, we can bond with others, like our friends, family. This is quality time.
Exactly. You know, one insight that I had about actually these moments is the fact that a lot of the times we don't even allow ourselves to prioritize them, you know?
Yeah.
Like we kind of think about all the other things that should be done, all the other things that we need to do before we engage in any me time, or before we engage in anything that actually brings us joy. And I did it the other day. Like, honestly, I was a bit overwhelmed with work, and I was also a bit frustrated with one work issue. Won't get into that because I'll get frustrated again. But, you know, and then I was just like, okay, I need a bit of time out, and I need to just sit down, make myself a cup of coffee, and read. And that's what I did. It was 20 minutes. It wasn't even that long. But that moment, fulfilling that need with, you know, this joyful moment within the moment, and also realizing that this is what I need right now, complete game changer.
100% agree. And I feel like I don't know. I guess there are many reasons why we tend to deprioritize our self care moments more than anything else. But I can imagine that one of the reasons is because we just think, oh, I can do this later. Once I have time, I can do this. Yeah. And it's almost like, you know, how everyone is so worried about procrastinating when it comes to their chores or the work that they have to do. But no one ever worries about procrastinating self care. And I think what we're doing, and I think this is highly problematic for all of us, is that we are procrastinating self care. And kind of, why are we doing this? Because we are just, I'll do it later. When I have time, I will do this. But time typically never magically appears, right? So really taking this back is what, you know, this spring is going to be all about as well.
Yeah, I have to say, I will need to take some time and actually declutter my space. Actually do what the OG spring cleaning is about, because I honestly feel like either that is a coping mechanism, or I feel like it's a cycle, you know? So basically, if you are overwhelmed with other areas of your life and you start cleaning, you're going to become less overwhelmed with other areas of your life. And if you like live in a place that, you know, there's no like order, you know, you have like, for instance, I have a lot of clothes that I need to donate, like I need to get rid of. They that have been like sitting in that closet for like more than 5 years, you know, and I've never worn them. Like, and this is frustrating because it's kind of like keeping clutter in my head as well. You know, I don't know, like I feel like it's a cycle, you know.
I'm the same. I cannot work from home unless everything is tidy around me. I can't focus. Like this ritual I can't focus. And then... Yeah, I try to keep it. I try to keep it tidy at all times, more or less. But yeah, in the morning or in the evening, I need a little 10-minute, just making sure it's not cluttered.
Yeah, I admire people who can still function in lack of tidiness and order, you know, like just, yeah, but that's something I'm gonna definitely focus on. Actually, I want to do more day trips this spring
to like different cities.
Yeah, I feel like places. I kind of I noticed, maybe it's a consequence of January and February, where I got bored. Like I got so bored because I just felt like, you know, it's cold outside. You have to go somewhere, you know, you have to like change clothes and it's gonna be cold, and then you have to go somewhere and then come back. And I just stayed at home most of the time. And then I really got bored. And I felt like I need a change of scenery more often.
Fair enough, yeah.
So now what I want to do, especially with the spring coming in, you know, basically do more day trips in which on the weekend I change my scenery. Because I also noticed this is when I get the most creative. Like I can just, you know, walk in a park that is not in the city that I live in, and I'm gonna have a completely different vibe, completely different ideas than if I just walked in the same park, you know.
Getting out of your bubble is so powerful, actually.
So honestly, like this is something that I realized I need to kind of get these moments of, yeah, refreshness, if that makes any sense. Yeah.
No, I can see that. I can see that. For me, it's again the small things. I feel like spring is like this about the small joys in life. So honestly, I'm just so excited for colorful, fresh flowers from the market. Come home, just like put them in the vase and just, I don't know, look at them, be happy about, enjoy them. Like waking up in the morning and coming into the living room and seeing the fresh flowers and hopefully like a lot of sunny days. And I mean, the morning sunlight just makes me happy. I don't know.
Yeah.
It
No,
does
I
something.
agree.
Or, just like being able to wear your sunnies and sit outside and just enjoying a matcha outside, even if it's not like super warm, but just being able to be outside.
I miss that. I have to say, I miss that. Just kind of like feeling the sun on your face. And you know that also spring is coming because it smells like it. Like the other day, I heard, I was taking out the trash, super random story, but I was taking out the trash and I heard birds singing. And for a moment, I was like, oh my God, they're back.
But this is so typical spring. This is the sound of spring, I feel.
So, you guys, if you're feeling the same as us, definitely plan in some joyful moments, definitely plan in things that, yeah, basically make you feel refreshed, make you feel like your space is the one you want to be in, that your environment is inspiring you, whether through day trips or, I don't know, by buying a new decoration thing, which can also help.
Whatever it is, really, hey.
Because that is also going to make you enjoy the spring a little bit more, and also not end up basically in fall or in winter thinking about, oh yeah, I really wanted to do this in the spring, but I didn't manage to.
And now I feel like, I mean, we've talked about kind of reflecting about, okay, how have things been going so far? How do we want things to be? How do I want to spend every day, or like the daily for the next few months? How do I want spring to look like? And the third one is a little bit different and maybe a bit counterintuitive, because the third question that we asked ourselves, and that you can ask yourself also, is how do I actually want my summer to look like? And here's the thing. We have learned our lesson last year with this one.
Yeah,
because
we did.
because we tend to really focus on just what is happening right now, or maybe we focus on like very far in advance. But sometimes it helps to just think about the next season as well and ask yourself, how can I set myself up for success for summer specifically? And if you've been listening, yeah, to the one of the summer Friday coffee chats, the romanticizing summer, you know that last year summer the two of us were actually really busy, and we were not able to take the time off that we wanted and go on the vacations that we wanted, that we typically do every year as well. Like the summer vacation for me personally is always the biggest vacation. So this didn't happen. And then of course we started reflecting, why didn't this happen? And why was it difficult? And of course there's different factors that play into that, but one of them was we never actually planned it. And when you don't plan for something,
but we planned the work ones, like we planned the not vacation, we planned everything related to work. That's what we did. It was just, oh, I need to do that in July, I need to do that in June, I have this conference here and there, but it was never, but what about me?
Yeah, but that's the thing. Okay, when I say planning, I don't mean work. Work we plan anyway. Like that's again with procrastinating self-care, right? And we didn't plan the vacations. And oftentimes when you don't plan those vacations, what happens is that work piles up. You maybe say yes to things because you don't have something specific plan where you're like, okay, I'll be gone for 2 weeks in July, so I can't take on this task because it'll go into that. And sometimes before you know it, summer's there, you have nothing planned in terms of vacation, but you have tons of responsibilities and tons of deadlines to meet. And this is
never go away.
that will never go away, and that
As well.
really eats into your summer, into your self-care, and then you're like, well, I guess I'll have to wait for next year.
Yeah, and I feel like that is the saddest thing, because we are adults who have the power to make our own decisions, and we don't need to wait for permission from other people to do what is good for us. Therefore,
other people don't care about that. That's the thing. Everyone cares about themselves. No one's gonna tell you go away, go on vacation.
Does everyone care about themselves, and only I need to take care of me? Basically, kind of going into this whole idea that you need to, think ahead. You need to prioritize yourself, and to do that, what you can do right now, this spring, is actually book in your PTO. If you're listening right now and you're on your laptop, do that right now, or do it after you're listening to this episode. But if you haven't done that already, please go ahead and do it, because that is going to save you so much headache to have to, explain yourself during the summer, but also, be the one who always needs to be flexible, even when other people are not. Because I feel like that's also a thing.
Such a frustrating situation to be in as well, right? When you feel like you always can go with like your second choices, let's say.
Exactly. And you see people, who have already done that, and you're like, oh, damn, why did I do that before? Who just come and tell you, oh, I'll be off this and this week. Bye, and then you're left with like, yeah, but I prioritize work, and that's on you. So go ahead and put your PTO in now.
Even if it is for a staycation.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't really matter.
Even that can give you a lot in terms of relaxing and chilling and just being refreshed afterwards.
I have to say, this summer, what I'm looking forward to is actually the complete opposite of
last year. Yes, same.
So big self-prioritization coming up.
All right, you guys. So this actually concludes our 3-question spring cleaning chat. Yes. If to summarize it. So just to recap, start reflecting about what areas of your life you would like to spring clean this year. And once you have more clarity about that, ask yourself, how do I want the next 3 months of spring to look like? How do I want my daily life to look like? What do I want to plan in? What do I want to do? The small and the big things in the next 3 months. How can I get the most out of spring? And then also ask yourself, how can you set yourself up for success in summer, and to also have something to look forward to, be it a vacation trip, or be it a staycation. No matter what, book in that summer PTO.
And if you've been enjoying this episode, you can choose to support us by buying us a coffee. You can find the link in the description of the episode. And if you've loved this episode, send it to a friend so they can plan the best spring cleaning of their life and also have a great summer ahead.
See you next time.
Bye.